Good morning, everyone. Today's presentation on financial abuse is being recorded for the purpose of televising on cable public access. The Swansea COA offers various activities and services presented by volunteers or nominally paid practitioners. Participants do so with the understanding that the town of Swansea, its COA, and employees do not assume any legal or other responsibilities for advice or services rendered. Fraud does not discriminate. It can happen to anyone at any age. Kelly O'Brien is here today to speak to you about the different types of financial abuse and effective strategies that you can use to prevent becoming a victim. The Swansea COA is pleased to welcome and introduce Kelly O'Brien with Webster Bank.
Thank you. Good morning. I want to thank everybody for giving us some of your time this morning so we can go over a very important topic that has seemed to hit our community pretty hard, especially now around the holidays. So while I'm going over the deck here, Nina is going to pass out the presentation for you so that way you can follow along, or you can just have it later to refer to should you want to look back at anything. Okay? So some of the things that we're going to cover today is we're going to talk about what financial abuse actually is. We're going to talk about who might be an abuser, what types of scams are actually out there, and most importantly, ways to protect yourself, and also how to report should you feel that yourself or a loved one has become a victim of financial abuse. So what is actually financial abuse? Financial abuse is using an elder's money or assets contrary to the elder's wishes, needs, or best interests for the abuser's personal gain. So some ways that somebody could take advantage of you would be taking your money or other items from your house that you didn't give them permission to use or have, failing to provide services that were agreed upon that you either paid for or whatever the case was, using your credit cards without you authorizing it to make purchases, opening new accounts at the bank or anywhere else to store in your name without you authorizing, misusing your power of attorney, refusing to repay money that they've borrowed from you or property that you let them borrow, and also changing your will or your trust to benefit them and not you. So those are just some of the ways that you can be taken advantage of or a loved one can be taken advantage of. So some things that signs that you want to look for. One of the biggest ones is somebody will try to isolate you from contacting your family or very close friends that usually help you. That's a sign right there when they don't want you to take phone calls or visits from family. Usually they're trying to isolate you so they can try to take advantage of the situation. If they control your mail or phone calls and you notice that you're not seeing any of those things that you used to, you want to find out exactly what's going on with that, why you're not receiving those things anymore. If they falsely promise that they're going to take care of you for the rest of your life, things like that. And then one of the worst ones is when they threaten to harm or neglect you if they don't help you, get the services and the things that you need. Those are just some of the ways that they can get you into this situation where they try to take advantage of you financially. So some of the people that may be abusers could be family members, unfortunately, caretakers that provide for you, whether they're paid or not, strangers that you meet in public or over the phone, when they try to call you and they're trying to solicit things from you. And then also people, unfortunately, that you hire, such as your accountant, doctors, or lawyers. They all have found to be in cases of elder abuse. So there are quite a few scams out there that are actually affecting the community right now, and we're going to talk a little bit about those. One of the biggest ones is healthcare, Medicare, and health insurance fraud. So what they do is these people will call in and they'll pretend to be your Medicare, Medicaid provider, and they're trying to get personal information from you, and unfortunately you think it's legitimate and you want your health care, you want to be covered, so you give them this information over the phone. And unfortunately they use that personal information to do fraudulent things in your name. They also do things where they set up bogus services, so things that didn't really happen. They'll say that they're coming to your community to do flu shots, different vaccines, so they ask you for a credit card or billing information over the phone or your health insurance information, and those clinics never actually happen. They've now got all of your information. Some of the other things that they do is counterfeit prescription drugs. That seems to be a big one that's hitting, that I know that we've had to deal with in Webster when customers come in, is you're always trying to find a better way and a cheaper way, obviously, to afford your medication and the prescriptions that you need. So there are people out there that are capitalizing on that by calling you and telling you that they can get your prescription medications cheaper if you go through them, an online service. They'll promise that they're going to bill and send to you. They ask for your personal information. You give it because it sounds great, and we all want to save money, right? So you give out your information, and unfortunately that's another way that they are able to fraud and scam everybody. The internet has been, a hot topic lately as well. With everybody trying to do different things, you'll be on the internet doing whatever it is you normally do, and then you'll get a pop-up on there that says, it's it could be a promotion for something that they have going on, or something that looks interesting to you. You click on it, and then that puts a virus into your computer. If that virus is in your computer, anything you do from then on, where you enter any of your information, that virus is actually picking up that information, saving it, and then sending it to whoever the people were that put that in there to basically victimize you. So if you ever get anything that pops up and you're unsure what it is, my best advice would be don't click on it. If it's something that looks like it's interesting to you, just jot down what it was about, whatever the topic was, close out your browser, then you want to go back in and actually type that in and try to go directly to their website instead of going through this third-party server that could potentially victimize you. Email messages. So if you get an email that looks legitimate, it looks like it's somebody that you know that could have sent it to you, that's another way that when you open those emails, sometimes there's things in there that can put a virus into your computer that you want to be aware of. Never open an email that isn't from somebody that you definitely recognize and you know is their email address. There's a lot of investment schemes that are going on. So there's bogus financial advisors that are calling you and telling you they have better ways for you to earn interest on your money and ways that they can help you. If you're not certain who they are, always take down their information and you try to call them back. A lot of times when you call back, the number is disconnected, it's not working, it's not actually who they said they were. Most importantly, until you actually identify them, never give out any of your personal information. A big one that's out there is the letters. I don't know if any of you have received letters in the mail, and they're telling you that you've won something from the lottery, or you've been chosen, you're a winner, for something that they had really far away that you've never been there, but still, how do they have your information, and you could have really won. So all they ask is you just need to pay the taxes on what you won. So if you give us your information or you send us a check, we'll then go ahead and send you your winnings. It's a huge, huge scam that's going on. The government is well aware of it, and they're doing everything they can to try to stop it, along with the law enforcement agencies. However, it is out there and something that we want you to be aware of. The other one that is out there is the grandparent scheme, is what they're calling it. And basically, it's somebody that calls you that is pretending to be your niece, nephew, grandson, granddaughter. They're telling you that they're overseas, they got into some trouble, and that they need you to send them money to help them be bailed out of jail. We're getting a lot of this one coming through. It sounds very legitimate. You want to help. They're saying, please don't tell mom and dad, just send us a check so you can help us, or Western Union to us. Pay over the phone, and a lot of people are giving their information for this, and this is another big way that we've been hit with the scam. Those are just some of them. There are countless. We could be here all day talking about, unfortunately, all the schemes and the way that they have come up with to victimize people. The main concern for us at Webster Bank, what we want to do is help you protect yourself. So we just want to give you some information. Nina had passed out to you there some booklets, and what's in there is basically ways that you can report if you think something's happened to you, a loved one, a friend. There's websites in there for you to go to so you can get some more research done on it if you prefer. And there's also phone numbers that you can call from Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and they'll try to help you with these things. We just want to make sure that you never give up personal information to anyone who calls you if you don't know who they are. Never pay taxes or fees on collected sweepstakes or lottery winnings, because that just wouldn't happen. They wouldn't call you over the phone and ask you to do that. Never go into a rush decision. If you feel like it's not right, chances are it's not. So we want to make sure you just take a minute, hang up, get their contact information, talk to somebody you trust, and run it by them, see what they think. Never agree to on-the-spot repairs. So if you are a homeowner or you have somebody that owns a home, sometimes somebody will drive up in a truck that looks legitimate and they tell you they're going to repave your driveway at a deep discount for you, right? Or they're going to, yeah, exactly. Those things are all out there. And they tell you, here's the price, you pay them, they leave, they never do the job, they don't complete the job, something comes up, they say they're coming back, they never come back, you've now paid for this service. We always want to make sure that you monitor your credit report. There are free websites out there that's also in the packet for you. You can go ahead and look at that, and it'll show any new accounts you've opened, anything that's being done in your name, so you can make sure it is something that you actually authorized. The best way for you to report immediately is to call the police. Because a lot of places, if they've already taken advantage of you or a loved one and they've actually got a financial gain out of it, some of those companies are going to require a police report to prove that you actually were a victim of elder abuse. So you call the authorities right away. They'll come, they'll do a police report once you tell them everything that had occurred, and they'll make sure that you have a copy of that, so that way you can go forward with trying to, make yourself whole again and get everything back that you lost. You also want to contact your state and local agencies, such as the state's attorney general. All that information is in here so you can let them know. This is how we are aware of all of these schemes that I went over with you. It was folks like yourself who took the time to not just try to make it better for themselves, but they actually reported it to the Attorney General, which gets it out to all the banks, so that way the bank that you do business with are aware of these, and we can be monitoring your accounts for you to try to stop this on our end if it should get past anybody. We also listed in there the Mass Elder Protection Services phone number and the Rhode Island Department of Elder Affairs. And then we also, like I said, gave you some of the websites that you can go on to read a little bit more about it, and also, to help combat against this and things that you can do and don't do. So that's all I have for the basic presentation today. If you have any questions, I'd be happy. Nina and I are both here for you. Again, we appreciate your time today, and we hope that you all have a safe and happy holiday.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.